get an additional. I'm not sure how they'll handle it, but you've got to ask them. That's the
Okay.
best way to go. So,
All
but
right.
thank you for
Thank
bringing
you.
that up. Okay, so we're back in. I'm going into my case. I need to check this. It's sitting as let's say I was the worker. It's got Ramona's name, but I was the worker, and I'm going through all my tabs. I'm at the plan services tab because I want to look and see if there's any plan services. And as you know, there isn't. So we're going in here. We're either adding or added the plan service. There should normally be at least one. And that plan service is going to be your plan service, which is the conflict free case management one. And that basically is a service code that's going to come up. That is the G9012. Okay. So you should always have this one up. If the person doesn't have any services and you're just being the case manager with no services, this would be the only one you'd have. Now, for this one, DHS is saying on average, you have about an hour and a half a month of case management work that you're doing. That may be paperwork, work with them, and a combination. I don't know how long I mean, we know on average it could be a quick phone call, so that could be 30 minutes, but on average, the max is about an hour and a half, considering you did maybe sat with them 1 month to do the inter-I, 1 month to do the PCP. It really depends. So for that number, okay, at 6, that's going to mean that it's 20, basically that you got 24. I don't know why it keeps coming up to 240. It doesn't want to go away, but 24 units a month. I don't know why it keeps doing this. It's driving me nuts. But basically, I can do at the way I want to do it, depending upon how it is actually not calculated. It's 6 units, and it's units per month because it comes up automatically as month. So it's 72 units per year. Okay. If it goes over that, DHS will kick it back because they're going to want to know why you'd be over roughly an hour and a half a month. Now, if you've got a ton of assessments to do with this person and you know it will be, then specify it in a note so they know. Otherwise, they will look at this because the average is about 4 units a month, about an hour a month, and question you. So you don't want to have that come back. You can put yourself in as the provider. Right now, I'm in the sandbox, so I can't put your provider ID in. It doesn't have it, but it would be West Bay. You'd select it here. You'd go under here. You'd look under it. You type in West. Right now, it won't come up the way you want it, as I say, but you'll put in it, show up West Bay. You'll put it in, and then basically you'll put in the service type is new. And the reason to change code is because it's a new service. Okay. Case management, they haven't had logged other than by DHS. It's the first time CFCM is going in for the case management agency. So you're going to put this in and you can put a quick note. This is the new CFCM case management hours. Okay, from agency. Whatever way you want to type this in, just so everybody knows, it's nice to do it, and then file and save and add the plan service. So that's one of the two that shows up when you close this out, and it'll close. It didn't close. I don't know why it didn't, but it should have. Let me just show you what you're going to see. You're going to see that all built out. Everything's in with the start date and end date the right way you want it. New service, everything. The other one is if they have currently either a personal attendant or a homemaker, and they are going to continue to have it, and or you're adding it for the first time, you of course will go to File, Add Plan Service. Under this, it will open up. Again, make sure your start dates and end dates are right. They can't be any earlier than the person-centered plan signing. So there's no reason why you can't bump this out. If you know you can't get anybody for a month, that's okay. Make it a month. So push it out to, let's say, I know I can get somebody by the 17th, and then I make sure that the little trick I do is I go again to actually I was in 2025, right? I go to February 2025 and the 17th, actually I got to go to March, sorry. I push that out in my brain, sorry. What am I saying here? Excuse me. Back to February, I'm sitting at the 17th. I go to the 16th, and then I change the date on this from 2025 to 2026. It is a full year of service, okay, that you're going to put it in for. So you can push it out after the person-centered plan if you know you won't get it. You want to kind of make a good estimate. If you feel your provider agencies are finding people to service them pretty quickly, then just make it the same date as the person-centered plan or after. If you feel it's going to take a few weeks, you can push it out a couple of weeks. That's not a problem. DHS is looking for it to not be before the person-centered plan is signed. Other than that, they aren't looking. And as long as it's a year, then you would put in your index code for DHS cases, not for BHDDH. And I want to make sure it's clear. You're going to select EADHCBS. For the BHDDH, you're going to select the IDD. I think you guys have been doing that. So it's going to show up EOHHS, HCBS, EAD. Now you're going to pick the program. 9 times out of 10, these programs are DHS Community. So you select that, and now comes the service code. The first one that's going to show up was the one we usually pick, but now they're adding codes. So you're going to see the 59 code, the 99999 code. That's the combo PA homemaker or PA or homemaker. I know it's kind of quirky, that huge title. I barely could get that in to get everybody to understand. But if you're adding anything from a homemaker to a combo of a homemaker and a PA to just a PA, this is the code you use. Now this is where your inter-I comes in, and we've talked about it. You go into your inter-I and you see how many hours. Does everybody want me to go into the inter-I so we match up? You want me to go through that, or are you good with that? Let me know. Everybody good with not looking at the inter-I, or you want me to look at the inter-I?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
You can just go.
You can go forward. So, okay, so let's say that the monthly is 200 hours a month. So grab my calculator and pop it up on the screen. And it takes a minute, sorry. And we get a calculator. Put it up. And I like to have a calculator up. It's always nice to figure it out. Bring it onto the screen with me, put it up. It's going to come on. Now I take the number of hours the inter-I says, and let's say it's 200 hours a month. Okay, 200 hours a month times 4 units per hour. I just multiply it by 4, means I have 800 units to work from. Okay, so I'll put the 800 units in. Okay, and I'll make sure my units of measure is, and I don't know why, that's weird. It comes in a week now. So I got to change this because now I have to divide it. Sorry, I don't know why that came up. Usually it sets up for a month, but it may be the sandbox. So if it is production, you should be able to select month. If it's not and it's week, you'll divide it by 4.3 because that's the number of weeks in a month. So it's 186 hours, units per month, per week. Okay, that'll get you the right number. And I'm sorry to do the quick math here. We'll go back into it. So the easy thing is to figure out how many hours it is total per month, which is 4 times the number of hours that the inter-I says. And then if it's listed per week, you have to divide it by how many weeks on an average it is in a month, and that's 4.3. So once you do that, see it's a little less than 200, which 4 weeks in a month will give you 800. 4.3 adds that extra, 5 days, 3 days, 2 days, 1 day type of thing to that 5th week and gives you 186 a week. It will come out to 52 weeks in a year when you do it this way. So it's 186 units in a week. Gives you your total number of units in a year. And I know we're going to change this. I've been asking to change it. You don't have to put your provider in there, but you do have to add these. You have to add service justified by the goal, unless you've looked at the risks and you feel the risks are very important to add services. Most of the time it's goal related. If it's risk, you have to fill in those risks in the plan. And what is the ranking of those goals? Normally it's 1, 2. You got your 2 in there. Could be 2, 1. Hopefully isn't, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you go crazy. Then you're going to put that it's new, because you're not adding to what you existingly have unless there's a difference. Okay. And then you're putting it in that is a new service. If the person already has services, like Catherine had said, then I'm going to probably be increasing, because the inter-I is more, I need to increase, and I then put in continuation of service. But I'm making sure that I tell them that those extra 5 hours, as she brought up as an example, are being included in the package. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. Once that is, I put my little note, CFCM, case services. and it's increased due to inter from, I don't know, whatever it was, from let's see, it would be 200 hours a month to 220 hours per month. So it'd be 200 hours to 220 hours per month. So you're just putting in a note. So DHS looks at it and say, yeah, they're going to look at the inter. They're going to make sure it's not above the inter, because if it's above, they're going to send it back asking why. Now, if you have additional information or something and it's 10 hours above, you're okay, as long as you have notes. If it's more than 10 hours above what the inter, and that's per month, then you're going to have to probably talk to them and see if you need to do an updated inter if they're, have a decline and have a medical issue, something else that's come up. But they'll allow you to go up to 10 hours per month more than the inter right now. That's kind of the bubble. So you can do that. But you may not also be able to get a provider that can do the extra hours. So it's all kind of a mix. But once you do this and everything's in there, go to File, go to Save and Close Plan Service. And now, must occur within the plan start date. Oh, you know what? My start date and end date are not there. I think it was a December one. So hang on a second. It's 12/13 to 12/12. So I apologize. I was kind of getting hit 12/13. This was the original date. It's already locked in. So to 12/12. This is because the other one was already locked in. So let me just fix that and it should be okay now. Yeah, there we go. All set. Okay, don't worry about that. The workflow wizard you don't need to run. It doesn't need to show up. And I've closed it. So now I have my units just the way they need to be. As you can see, it'll have the total number of units. You don't worry about unit cost or max amount. That'll be put in by the providers after you guys put it into CSM and you get a provider, they'll bill. It keeps track of things right now. And as you can see, it showed an increase or justified by goal, and it's there and flagged. Once that's done, and as long as you didn't have any risks that you needed to run through, okay, and your person-centered plan form is complete, all you need to do now is go back to plan information. And this is where hopefully Kerry has either told you that you can push it forward or she wants to see it first. If she wants to see it, you change this worker to her name and move it from draft initial to supervisor review. That allows her to see it, okay? If she says no and you're good to go, then you put in the name of the DHS worker supervisor that's connected with the agency. I think for you guys, it's Kerry Cook. So I'd put in Cook, and I can do that. Go into lookup. And I put it under search, so her name shows up. And then basically after that, you would then change this from draft to submitted for review. And you'd go and save it. That way it shows up in her system. You can either save or close plan or save plan, but save and close plan is great. That sets it up, and now it's off to her. Now it's her job. She'll pick it up. She'll look at it. See how it says Kerry Cook now? On her way, away it goes. It's out of your hands and into hers. Now, if she sends it back, it's coming back to Kelly, and Kelly will reassign it to you. And they'll also put an alert with notes. So by an alert, what I mean, let me just show you real quick, then I got to drop, is that when this case comes back to you and it comes into you for the first time and you search and you open this up, see this? This is called an alert note. That will tell you all the things you need to do to fix the case for it to be resubmitted to DHS and activated. Okay, that's your kind of your goal. Now you can go into the notes right here and you can see everything that's here. And if it's under alert, it kind of flags you. All right, I have a whole bunch of stuff in here, but the one under alert would be the one I come up with. I go in and it will tell you what I need to do. Okay, and then basically you can fix it and then you can send it back just the way I showed you. How are we doing for questions and what can I answer for you guys?
I think that's good for now. I think
Good.